First mile sucks. Let it go.
My heart is begging me to get the hell out of my head. I'm gonna live inside the upside down for a minute and pretend. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, whoa. Honey, I'm a perfect.
Do you ever feel that when you first get out there and run, it feels solid, you have no energy, you're breathing, your heart rate is all over the place, and that you just do not want to carry on? Well, I can tell you something now. You're not the only one. You're not on your own. It happens to almost everyone. Here are a few words that I'm going to say to you that may change your thinking about the first mile. The first mile is junk. Let it go. So think about that for a minute before we move on. So why does the first mile suck? That's a good question. I get asked that quite often. So almost every runner I've ever talked to agrees that the first mile of the run can be the most uncomfortable. Basically what's happening is you're forcing your engine to work before it's had a chance to properly warm up. So if we think about it as our car, we've turned up to our car, it's a frosty winter's morning, there's ice on the windscreen. So you get into your car, you patiently sit there, you start your engine and you wait for it to warm up to defrost that ice, and the car comes to that proper temperature before you set off. As a runner, your ice usually defrosts after around 10 to 15 minutes or the first mile or two. So until that point, you could experience sore muscles, heart, lungs, niggly injuries, and the rest of your body maybe just screaming at you to stop. But slowly they will all fall into line as you begin doing things that you've trained them to do, so they're getting used to it, so you're getting warmed up. The trick really though for beginner runners especially is to overcome the initial discomfort, knowing that an enjoyable run awaits you on the other side of mile 1 or 2, whatever it is. Easier said than done, right? Yeah, it is, but even me as a veteran runner, I still suffer from spiking heart rates, ragged breathing, general fatigue during that first mile on some days. So yeah, it does, it sucks, but we've got to learn to make it better for ourselves. So how can we make it better? So let's have a look at it. Start by warming up slowly with a planned walk, jog or slow pace for the first 1 or maybe 2 miles. Hitting your goal pace for a workout. For example, if you are planning to run 4 miles at an 8-minute mile pace, think about adding 1 or 2 miles at 9:30 pace, so for warm up, if you haven't added a warm up in already. So you can add dynamic stretching in this. You can do some lunging, some skipping, go through a pre-run routine, so you can open the gate, close the gate, high knees, controlled high knees, that sort of thing. Or you could try a progression run. So a progression run is something that you start slowly and gradually increase your speed throughout the run to build stamina and introduce speed safely and without too much stress on your body. Make sure that you are properly hydrated and rested. If you need to take a booster such as a coffee in the morning or maybe 2, there's some caffeine shots as well, or gels you can take before key workouts. So learn how your body responds to a proper warm-up routine and use it to your advantage on race day. So say you arrive at the starting line for your next 5, 10, half marathon, whatever it is, with a light beading of sweat in your forehead, and you can almost guarantee that you'll have a good run because you've warmed up properly, you've prepared your body for it. Say, I think it was 2011, I stood up on the start line of the Cardiff half. I arrived late, so I didn't really have time for that proper warm-up. By the time I got there, the gun I'd only had like a minute and the gun had gone off, so we were off. And I went off, I tear ass down the first straight by the castle. I was overtaking people thinking, yeah, this is great, I feel fantastic. And then all of a sudden, bang, I was like, whoa, what's going on? my heart rate had spiked, my breathing was awful, and then people started to overtake me, and I struggled then for the rest of the race to get any sort of consistency. I really struggled. So it's safe to say I didn't get a PB that day. But I think if I would have warmed up, I would have quite easily been on for it. So the year after, 2012, which was the Olympic year in London, I set off properly. I got there early. I really thought about my warm-up. So I actually, Boot Park is behind the castle, so I went into Boot Park and I really warmed up properly, you know, sort of nice progression run, and then I started to do some lunges, some stretching, dynamic stretches. I met the rest of the guys and I had some sweat coming down my forehead. They were like, "Bloody hell, have you already run it?" And it was all part of it. And I knocked 5 minutes off my PB that day. All because I warmed up properly. A lot of people think, oh, I've got to save myself for the race. It's not true, guys. You need to warm up. You've got to prepare your body properly to get out there. So, yeah, that's it for how to make your first mile better. I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts or experiences on this, guys. So please pop it in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next video. For those that haven't yet subscribed, please do so by hitting the notification bell, and I'll keep you up to date for any future releases. Thanks for coming along. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.